Welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, the show in which we find out how our economies work when they're dead. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon. Dogcat Fox, Pepperjack, all of you, and joining me today, internet sensation, the Ranting Monkey.
Sensation?
You bring people some kind of sensation, I assume.
Well, yeah, but they asked me not to talk about that. Hi, everybody.
Yes, everyone, we are here today to educate ourselves and you about economics when we find out capitalism is dead. Long live capitalism. What does that mean? I don't know. And why is Monkey here? Because he effectively knows more about economics than I do.
That's a low bar.
Well, I mean, yes. Is it a monkey bar?
We'll find out, won't we?
I guess we will. But yes, hello everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. It is Wednesday. Let's see, what's a good W word? Wacky Wednesday? I don't know. Didn't think about that one before the show, so that's why I did that. I just came up with it at the last second. But who didn't come up at the last second are you guys, those of you who decided to join us today on this educational odyssey. And that would be El Wolf, hello. Keeverdam, hello. Wade Waleson, hello. Jaeger Pony, hello. Matt Barnes, hello. St. Michael, hello. Dogcat Fox. Dogcat Fox has gotten loose and made a YouTube account. Dogcat Fox, are you misbehaving? Wowie, wow, wow. I don't know what that means. I talk to the Dogcat Fox. I don't necessarily understand him. Check your logic. Hello. Absolutely Degenerate. Hello. Quinn the Cultist. Hello. Lady Gopher. Hello. Some Num Nation. Hello. Zan Wild. Hello. And then chat jumps because, of course, did Tux Mint. Hello. Texas AG 007, the Texas Attorney General secret agent. Hello. Tall Person. Hello. Who else is here? Zach Osborne. Hello. The Pissed Off Shih Tzu. Hello. James Colley. Hello. Zeke Weiss. Hello. Johnny Stoffel. Hello. Poker Pierce, hello. Attack Alpaca, hello. Psionic Dreams, hello. J2020, hello. Big Dave, hello. Leo Prime 75, hello. Robert Pincus, hello. Lexi Mads, hello. Just Paul, hello. Oh my gosh, so many hellos. Gunfox 61, if I don't lose my voice. And I think Fallen Hero, hello. If I missed anyone, I apologize. But we do have to get going because this is a long TEDx today, just under 20 minutes. Now, on the off chance that anybody here has absolutely no idea who you are, Monkey, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Ranting Monkey and I stream.
Yes, and you can find links to Ranting Monkey's main channel, his gaming channel, his Streamlabs, and his Twitter in the description. And do you know, Keeverdam pointed this out on Twitter to me before the show started, when I set up the description, I misspelled your name. Can you imagine... Can you imagine how I misspelled it?
Forget the K.
I did. It was
ranting
money. And, you know, for the sake of this presentation, it might have been appropriate. But anyway, guys, we're going to get right into this. So per usual, I will start off with a few seconds for a sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear this. Also have your bingo cards ready. Links in the description. I don't know, given the subject matter, if we'll even get near a bingo, but you never know. So let's find out from... Bold and Brilliant TED Women 2019, Leicester Women. So I assume this is British. I guess we'll see. Here we go.
Have you ever wondered if the last financial crisis of 2008 has changed something fundamental in our societies?
Have I wondered? Maybe abstractly. I think Tall Person, happy Apple Cider Day, everybody. Oh, I like apple cider. But thank you, Tall Person. You ever wonder if anything's changed because of 2008, Monkey?
No, because I pay attention.
Okay, so not much has changed.
Not really, no.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit the other night with the actions of a Barack Obama, at least in America, which he's going to talk about here and internationally otherwise, but the failure to actually hold to account any of the bankers that put us in the situation we were in 2008. So yeah, nothing fundamentally has changed. It's all been, as far as I can tell, window dressing. But then I am a layman, so maybe there's something else to be said.
Have you ever wondered if one of these consequences could be the overhaul of our economical system and our government structures?
It probably should have been to some extent. I don't think it was, so far as I know.
I'm just confused by, she goes from, has anything changed financially to have our governments changed? All right, I'm willing to listen.
Yeah.
In order to barely hinted at, I want to kick off the discussion by briefly talking about disruptions.
The discussion? Oh, I thought this was a presentation. And we have a graph. For those of you listening at home or driving along, there's a graph she's put up. I don't know what it says yet, but we'll find out presently. Also, she has an exceedingly tiny red circle carpet to work with.
She does.
And I've always wondered, like a sumo match on a TEDx talk, if they step outside the circle, do they lose? I don't know.
They probably get in trouble.
I hope so. It's hot lava. That's what's around that circle, hot lava.
Disruption, such an overused word. Everyone talks about disruptions.
Yes, I agree.
But truth is, there's only been 3 major disruptions in our modern human economy. The first one was the steam machine in the second half of the 19th century, which led to trains and disrupted global trade and global transportation by decreasing the cost of transport and increasing the speed of delivery.
Really?
I mean, fair enough, but...
Okay. I want to see where she goes. Also, she also made that graph suddenly disappear without explaining what it was. So I don't know what the point of...
Disruptions.
I guess it was the disruptions, but she didn't give us... Okay.
The second one was electricity and automation, which disrupted manufacturing and led to mass production, mass consumerism, and our modern urbanized societies. And the last one, not the least one.
The internet? Was it the internet?
It should be.
Was internet and mobile communication, which led to the disruption of the flow and access to information and ended up monetized in social media, participative knowledge, global cross-border collaboration with websites like Wikipedia, Open Source University, etc., etc.
Oh, okay.
Wait. But what? I mean, she's talking about global changes in marketing. She doesn't even touch on internet commerce.
Yeah, I mean, she brought up Amazon or something, then maybe.
Right.
But
instead, she brings up Wikipedia.
Also, the other thing, yeah, sure, Wikipedia, the sharing of knowledge. I mean, maybe knowledge and marketing or consumerism is there something.
Well, if you're going
to, go ahead.
If you're going to go with that, though, there's so many other things because she names these 3 things, and if you're going to go with that, you need to bring in things like public education, where before it was a very specific thing, mostly for rich kids. That was a major change. She puts electricity with automation, which they kind of go together in the modern time, but they didn't come along together.
No, I mean, if she's talking about major, if she's talking about major technological innovations that have changed things, okay, what does that have to do with the 2008 crash, for lack of a better phrase? And also, how is the 2008 crash all that much different from the previous crash or the crash before that? I mean, the mechanisms might be slightly different, but the effect is effectively the same. Why not bring up the Great Depression if we're going to talk about how things have changed and compare and contrast there? I don't know. We're only a minute 39 into this, so maybe we're all jumping ahead of ourselves. I don't know.
Today, you don't need to be a molecular engineer to know what a ribonuclease is, nor do you need to have the pass to the library of a biology university to find a book that tells you what a ribonuclease is. All you need to do is go on the internet, Google it, spend a couple of hours, and here you go. You're a specialist on ribonuclease.
Horse hockey. And also, you're not going to be able to go off somewhere and get certified in Wikipedia. It's not going to happen.
There's some truth to the fact that if you're going to use this example that she's using, that education isn't hidden behind expensive degrees anymore. That's
sure.
fair.
Yeah, okay. All right. But to call yourself an expert in something, it's like going on WebMD and diagnosing yourself. I just
Yeah, you got cancer.
Yeah. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Hello, chat people, Scribbles, and Monkey. Hello, Kyle.
Hello.
Yeah, no, the access to information, the barriers to gaining information or finding things just on a whim have never been lower in our history. And that is true. You can find out what a ribonucleic acid is and so on and so forth a lot easier now and find a bunch of reference material on it. I would not call a couple hours reading up on it making you an expert, but certainly you'll be more knowledgeable than you were before. What does that have to do with the 2008 financial crash? I don't know.
Today, you don't need to wait for a journalist to go to Iraq to tell you what's going on there.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. There's no, okay, Iraq, Iran, China. If you're going to believe state media or what little filters out from different places, you're setting yourself up for problems.
Yes.
Yeah, let's not pretend that suddenly everything is open, especially Iraq, of all places. Come on.
You can just go on the internet and watch the videos and the talks that the Iraqis have uploaded themselves.
Which, of course, are totally unbiased and I'm sure tell nothing but the truth.
Yeah. I'm still curious where she's headed with this, though.
I am.
And we are now on the verge of a fourth disruption, which is blockchain and AI.
Blockchain and AI.
You know how long I've been hearing AI is going to be the next thing?
I've been hearing AI is going to be the next thing since Skynet. But okay, and you know how much, if I did just a series of TEDx talks covering the various aspects, concerns, benefits, brilliances of AI, I would never stop. I mean, I've gone over and skipped over countless TEDx and TED talks, all either warning or extolling AI.
Yeah,
it's a very big topic. I don't particularly care until, the robots take over. So
now, is she trying to sell blockchains? Because that would make sense. I would understand this talk if that's where she's going.
Well, if so, it would not be the first time that TEDx has been used as a sales pitch platform.
Right, yeah.
And it's going to disrupt intermediation, among other things,
When is this video
in
from?
various sectors.
This is from 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And various industries. It is what the internet and mobile communication has done was to disrupt the exchange of information by collapsing the pyramid of knowledge and leading the democratization of information, of data, of knowledge.
What are we doing here? Like the
she's trying to sell you. She's trying to sell you Bitcoin.
Okay.
What blockchain and AI are going to do is disrupt the exchange of value by collapsing the money pyramid, leading to the democratization of the access to capital.
Okay, she might be talking some kind of sense, but to me, that last bit has been like word salad. Somebody was circling word salad.
What she just said is that blockchains are basically going to replace money, and therefore everybody will have money.
Yeah, the democratization of capital.
Yeah,
that's not how that works. I don't think. But I'm not an economist, so anyway.
That's not how that works.
However, this disruption is starting in quite an unusual, peculiar period of our human history, of our human social history.
Why?
Usually disruptions occur in very healthy environments, economically healthy environments.
Disruptions occur in economically healthy environments. Was World War II not a disruption? What the hell are you talking about? I'm sorry. Was 2008 not a disruption? Was that an economically healthy environment? You brought up 2008 as your first example of disruption. And now you're saying, what?
No, her first example of disruption was the railroads.
No, she brought up 2008 first.
Well, she did that
changed.
as a. Do you think this was what she's getting at here? Is that the market? This is where she's going. I'm calling it now.
Okay.
2008 is what led to the need for something like Bitcoin, because people got screwed in 2008 with the whole market going to hell for a while. And so Bitcoin came out of that, where all of the other things came when we were prosperous, like the automation. That was more of we were already on the road to prosperity before things fell to shit. Mm-hmm. So she's dumb, but I see where she's going. Okay. She's trying to sell you Bitcoin.
The financial crisis of 2008.
Yes.
Have we really ever recovered?
Yes.
Yeah.
The data tells us we did.
Yeah.
Well, global national income per capita is at the highest it has ever been. Yeah. Corporate profit are at record high. Employment, at least in the US, is at a record low.
Oh, I missed 2019. Anyway, yeah, remember, guys, she's talking from 2019 when everything was fine. But anyway.
But don't malaise in our Western societies?
Wait. Feel? Okay, the data says yes, but now the feel? A malaise? Oh, I don't know. Tell me about the malaise.
A malaise that is translating into Trumpism in the US, Brexit and in the UK, Gilets jaunes in France, the rise of extreme politics all around the world. Why?
The rise of extreme politics.
Oh my God. If you think Donald Trump was extreme, you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot.
Yeah, how extreme was he again when it came to economics, financials, and everything?
Brexit wasn't extreme. It was Britain being like, you know what? I'm tired of the fucking European Union telling us how we have to live, especially when they're telling us we have to take a bunch of refugees that we don't have room for. They're an island nation. They're out of fucking land.
And Trump's economic policy of, I don't know, bowing down to our allies financially over and over again, and actually having their money where their mouth is effectively in places.
Oh God!
And our economy going up through the roof in the process of all that. Yeah, I don't know. Extreme politics, as though extreme politics were a one-sided thing.
This is just silly.
What?
Because the data can be misleading.
Well, oh, how? You just told us the data says, well, yes, but our feelings say other. Okay, well, what's misleading? And now her graph's up again. Which will she tell us about the graph?
This is what she just told us. The other great disruptions came at times of prosperity, and then she lays out, hey, it is prosperous what she's talking about here, but we still have to explain why it's different, because Trump and Brexit and France.
It's a bad prosperity.
Apparently,
I mean,
it's misleading.
It's misleading. You could prosper under immoral circumstances or something. Okay, I don't know.
A very interesting chart that digs into the data, and it's true. Household wealth has increased.
Yeah,
is at the top that it was.
Yeah,
but if you look in the strata, you see that the bottom 50% has still not recovered its level of wealth pre-2008. They are actually now at a level of wealth that is similar to 1971.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
She's giving this talk in 2019, which the highest increases in wages and wealth was coming at the bottom 50%.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
And at least to the audience, we have not seen what this graph supposedly says or shows. It's in the background behind. For those of you listening at home, it's projected on the wall behind her, but TEDx in this instance has not deigned to actually put the image up for us to see, as usually they do. So I'm not quite sure what the graph is supposed to say unless or until she tells us, because I don't know.
Well, from what I can see there, that light blue line is what she was just talking about. The lowest 50% not having recovered yet. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The top 10% have recovered to levels of pre-2008, they've actually multiplied the wealth threefold since 19.
Because what she's doing is she's going, you fucking bitch. Looking at wealth, and I guarantee what they're actually looking at is like ownership of property, which, by the way, wasn't actually owned. Most of those people were in massive debt for houses and shit they could not afford. So if you add that in, I guarantee that graph looks different. She's full of shit. This is bullshit, is what this is.
And without knowing, like I said, we can't see either where this graph comes from or the source of it or what it's measuring. It's just a blurry image for those of us watching at home, so to speak. So if they pull it up at some point, or it becomes clear at some point where I can read whatever it's supposed to be saying for our reference, I'll let you know. But otherwise, we're going on faith here.
71.
Here, I'm going to back up just a couple because I cut her off.
Have recovered to levels of pre-2008. They've actually multiplied the wealth threefold since 1971.
It says Federal Reserve something on the bottom of that chart.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me change in something. I don't know, but regardless, if source federal, yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to read. Usually they put up like an actual image for like the people at home to see in a clear way.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not doing that here.
Truth is, our generation is poorer than that of our parents. And thanks to the third disruption, internet, mobile communication, we see it on a daily basis.
Is that true?
Yes, but that's largely due to the fact that your parents went to work rather than college. So they started building wealth a lot sooner than when you're talking about people who are not building wealth until they get to be 22 or 26. Yeah, it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it creates anger.
What?
Because it's an injustice, right?
Right. Anger. Okay. So data is one thing, but feeling a malaise and anger and right. And lady, please, will you just move your hair out of the way of your side of your face? You keep flipping your head and you keep falling on your face again. You get a scrunchie or something. I mean, okay. Tell me about the anger of the injustice of economic forces that none of us have any control over most of the time, except for our own situations, which vary in effect.
So, why is this dangerous?
Why is what dangerous?
That anger and the poor people being so poor.
Oh, are we going to have visions of guillotines coming up soon?
We're going to have some wealth inequality bullshit.
Why is this social unrest dangerous? Because the end goal of a society is to reach a state of equilibrium.
What? The end goal of a society is to reach a state of equilibrium? What? When? Name a society. No, seriously, name a society, any society that has ever reached a quote-unquote state of equilibrium. Name me one. I just also
want to point out, this is in 2019, before the social unrest became a thing.
Remember, guys, she's speaking from a place where we hadn't had the pandemic yet and everything else. So,
no George Floyd, no massive riots through the streets.
The goal of the society is to reach a state of equilibrium. I
think you might have brought me on as somebody who knows what they're talking about here completely on accident, because so far she hasn't really talked about economics at all. This is a lot of
like I said, bullshit. Yeah, well, here's the thing is like I never know going into these things what I'm going to end up with, because it's entirely the case, and has been several times in the past, the title has been misleading. Yeah, so I was under the impression from the title, Capitalism is Dead, Long Live Capitalism, we'd be talking about economics. Maybe we will. So
my vote is still that this is going to be a sell for Bitcoin.
And I really want to know
what she's promoting.
Yeah, I really want to know what that picture is behind her. It looks like some kind of like cyber demon from Doom.
Yeah.
What is that?
This equilibrium is a function of stability.
No shit. Equilibrium is a function. That doesn't make what your first statement true. The goal of a society is it's.
Itself a distribution function of wealth.
What?
When the majority of the population sits in the middle range of wealth, they want to maintain the status quo. They don't need to change anything, because if something changes, they will have more to lose than to win.
Tall person, describe like, I think that is Ornn, a character from the MOBA game League of Legends. Well, that looks like it from there, but I don't know what that has to do with this. Is she going to be going to League of Legends now? Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. The only unrest was Occupy Wall Street, right? Yeah, that was it.
No,
that was
not in 2019.
No, she's 11 years in the future from what. Okay.
This is such a weird argument she's making.
I don't even know what the argument is yet. Okay, let's go to the bingo card real quick just to make sure we haven't missed anything. Marginalized marginalization.
Not yet.
Not yet. Takes credit for something done, experienced by others in their demographic. No. Leaves out vital context.
Yes. Tons.
By all means, tons of context. Feminism, no. Microaggressions, unconscious bias, no. Anecdote that probably never happened. She hasn't really given us any. She's given us some historical things, but
no
happen.
anecdotes. Yeah.
Contradicts own point or argument.
Yes.
She made one in? How so?
She's contradicted herself. I pointed out just a moment ago. When she said that these changes always come during great times,
right.
But this one comes at a bad time when she's talking about it at a good time.
Right. Okay. Toxic, no. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase, not yet. Plays victim, no.
Not really.
No. Mind reading assumes motives.
No, not yet.
Not specifically, no. Benevolent condescension, we'll probably get there more clearly, I'll bet. A list. No. Well, I mean, she did list off the three disruptions. Yep. So there's a list. Okay. Patriarchy, no. Wage gap. Now that's a bit ambiguous. She's talking about economic disparity.
She's done wealth gap, but not wage gap.
Yeah, we'll see if she gets something more specific. Systemic institutional. I mean, her whole thing is about economic systems and things. So I'll wait and see if she actually uses the words. Thank you, Drew W. so much. Anecdotal here. My brother, no college and 8 years of military, is set to retire by 50. I, 14 years of military and associate's degree, live alongside doctors and engineers, both just work and stay away from debt. 2-parent household. Well,
good for both of you.
Yeah, awesome. Good for both of you. Holy cow. Thank you so much.
Can still be done.
Yeah. I mean, individual circumstances vary, of course, but if you make good decisions for yourself and you plan things out, you should be okay, barring, unforeseen consequences, as we know always happen because it's life. Privilege, not specifically yet, no. Childhood or family anecdote, she hasn't really spoken about herself. Self-vilification or wretchedness, by no means do I think this lady is ever going to demean herself. We'll see. Equity, she's talked about equilibrium, equality of outcome. So yes, I'm going to circle equity on meaning, if not in specificity. Weightless example. I mean, a lot of what she said could be weightless. I don't know where she's going with her argument yet. So I guess I'll sit on that one. I'll sit on that one. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason. No.
Not yet.
And white supremacy. No, not yet. Okay. So what we have circled so far.
Well, we may have to, we'll see where this goes, because she did bring up the extremism. So keep a pen in that one for later.
Oh, yeah. Now, anything that isn't specifically stated or at least undeniably described, we go for argumentation at the end of the show in aggregate or other arguments. So we'll be there. Anyway, for reference, guys, we've circled leaves out vital context, contradicts own point or argument, word salad, free space, a list, and equity. Kieverdam says she said the word system, Scribelight. Did she? I will take your word for it. Kieverdam knows for what is said. Okay, so also circling systemic institutional. And I'm certain that even if she hadn't said it explicitly, everything else she's talking about, we'd get there. Okay, let's continue.
But when the distribution is skewed, suddenly you get to a certain point where you don't want to maintain the status quo anymore, because a change, however it is, whatever it is, can be more beneficiary than the status quo.
It sounds like you lost the plot there for a second, lady.
What she was basically saying with that whole last part is you need a middle class because that keeps people from not wanting to change things too much.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Thank you so much, Brittany Holland. Thanks for all you guys do. Well, thank you, Brittany. Thank you for attending.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. All right.
So this is leading to obvious social unrest and social instability.
Well,
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. If it hadn't been for the pandemic, we'd all be just sitting pretty right now. But anyway, another disruption, which, of course, is not the time in which disruptions occur.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It was amazing that the Wall Street crash wasn't a disruption.
Yeah. Is she going to bring up the Great Depression at all, maybe?
Unrest and social instability is dangerous.
Wait, okay. I cut her off, so let me back up a couple of seconds.
Social unrest and social instability.
Okay.
Social unrest and social instability is dangerous because it can lead to revolutions.
If only she knew what was coming in 2019.
Well,
it can, it doesn't necessarily so.
This kind of makes her look like a prophet when what she's talking about has nothing to do with what happened.
No, it doesn't. And also, nothing she's talking about, even if you try to give her some kind of prophetic sheen, she would be right eventually. Human history has shown us these cyclical things that we see time and time and time again. So nothing she's saying is a new story. It's kind of like with the Joseph Campbell hero's journey kind of thing. No new stories have ever really been told at this point. So yeah, she can bring up all this stuff, this historical patterns, because that's why they call them patterns, because they keep happening. But anyway.
And revolutions are a painful thing.
Yes.
So how can we fix this without going through a bloody revolution?
I don't know. How do we fix this?
Because the problem is a wealth problem.
Okay.
We should first look at our economical system, which is...
System! Okay, well, if we hadn't already circled it, would have done it. Okay, first look at our economical system. Are we finally going to get into this now? What the title of the whole thing is about?
Economical system.
Economical system. Okay, so back up slightly.
All right.
At our economical system,
Yes.
which is based on capitalism.
Yes.
I don't want to bore you with the theory, but in my view, any viable and sustainable economical model should take into account individualism, meaning that every human being is an individualistic creature.
What?
Okay, tell me.
How?
Yeah, I was about to say, tell me of the economical system that takes into account every human being.
Oh,
What?
Soviet Russia, where they would actually tell you what your job is going to be because this is what you're good at.
That's right. Like from Fallout 3. Yeah, okay.
This is going somewhere even uglier than I thought.
This is why people used to have last names of like Miller and Taylor, right? That was your family legacy. All right, tell us about economical systems of individual.
Wow.
Whatever.
And I will quote, I want to highlight the quote of an unlikely source, Che Guevara, El Comandante Che Guevara, who said...
Che Guevara?
Oh my God, that just,
Che Guevara? Oh
fuck
boy.
you.
Oh boy, Johnny Hellcat, thank you so much. Every individual is an individual. Deep. Oh no. No, just wait. Thank you, John Miller. She just started her theory. I know it will fall in 5 minutes. Yeah. Or minuets, as the case may be.
She just gave us communism. Go
Yep,
ahead.
she just gave us communism. And thank you, John Miller, again.
In the future, which is now, individualism ought to be the efficient utilization of the whole individual for the absolute benefit of the collectivity.
Oh my God.
Indeed, as human beings, we are not equal.
No.
Doesn't mean we are unequal. It means we are different. We are different in our origins, in our religion, in our age, in our geographies, in our jobs, in our education.
Our
And we should
abilities?
be
How about that?
able to accept, respect, and leverage on these differences to be able to extract the unique insights that each individual can have and can add to the collective society.
Oh God, you commie bitch.
You know, if you water everything that you just said down, it sounds a lot like the diversity and inclusion presentations I see so often. Everybody has their own unique experience, their own unique perspective to bring to the table, different races, different ethnicities, different blah, 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 blah. So we don't have one single perspective on everything, but everybody comes together as a collective.
This is straight up communism. This is Marxism.
Uh-huh.
Where's the capitalist part?
I don't know. Like I said, now, just as a note, I don't believe it would say here. So the title of the videos on YouTube are not necessarily set by the speaker. I need to point this out. Okay. Unless you see a card in the presentation video itself that the person's holding up there, or they call their presentation XYZ, it's not necessarily the case that the video title wasn't just put there by the people running the TEDx website or the channel.
That's fine, but I mean, it should still match somehow.
Yes, that's the thing, is that the title usually has something to do with it. Sometimes we've been completely fooled, as veterans of TEDx will know. The title will say one thing, and it'll be like, what the hell am I watching? But we'll see. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I really need to wait before I send these LOL holy hell. Yeah, no, it's a surprise a minute here. Okay, so communism, everyone. Marxism is what our... I don't know. I don't even know what is she a professor or something? That never say. I never really paid attention. Okay.
So I want to highlight a situation where individualism actually wasn't applied correctly and led to the failure of states.
Okay, here comes an anecdote. Let's see if it's an anecdote we believe. Okay, or if it's a historical anecdote, then maybe we don't have a choice.
We have Argentina and the United States.
Argentina and the United States. I don't know much about the history of Argentina and the United States, but I'm sure we'll find out. Okay.
Few people know that in the 19th century, Argentina was actually the most powerful economically nation on earth.
Argentina in the 19th century. This is the 19th century, so 1800s. Most economically powerful nation in the world in the 1800s. Argentina? I mean, I don't know. Okay. I might need a fact check from our crack research team in the chat, but okay, we'll go with that for the moment and see what she has to say about it. But if she's absolutely wrong, I'm going to circle anecdote that probably never happened.
When immigrants had the choice between Buenos Aires and New York, they would pick Buenos Aires.
Why?
So what happened to Argentina? The United States now is a #1 power of the world. Argentina is a failed state.
Sure. I can believe that in the modern day. I'm still curious as to know if Argentina really was the most economically powerful nation on the planet in the 1800s. But let's see. Snow Pilot says, I think she spelled Great Britain wrong.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Even make an argument for France, unless you're going to argue that because of all their wars, they were bankrupting themselves, but they still had the money. What the hell is she talking about?
Let's see. Kiefer Dam says its GDP surged 6% before World War One. Let's see. British Empire enters the, okay.
Well, even if you're going to go by that and say they had the highest GDP increase, that's fine, but that still doesn't make them the most powerful economic force on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where she's getting her numbers or what fucking numbers she's talking about. So I will step back and go, it just sounds really, really wrong to me.
Okay. I will sit on circling anecdote that probably never happened for the moment, but given that bizarre statement, I'm probably going to do it later. Thank you. This is Kyle. To answer your question, Monkey, the capitalism starved to death in a gulag.
Fair enough.
Okay. Argentina, Buenos Aires, what happened to America, etc. All right.
History books will tell you it's the election of Juan Perón and Peronism.
Well,
Renovation says, Scribelight. Argentina was indeed the richest nation per capita at the start of the 20th century. It failed after it adopted socialism.
Well, per capita is also, okay, that's different, though.
That's not what she said, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
But
she didn't say per capita. She says okay. You know what? I got to hear it again just to make sure. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to make sure. I'm gonna back up a little bit. I don't know where we were.
Indeed, as a human being,
Yeah, yeah.
religion in our age, in our geographies,
yeah.
to the collective society,
Yeah.
that wasn't applied correctly and led to the failure of states.
Okay.
We have Argentina and the United States.
Yes.
Few people know that in the 19th century, Argentina was actually the most powerful economically nation on earth.
No. It might have had gains, obviously, and so on, but it wasn't the most powerful economically on earth. Great Britain would like to argue that point.
mm-hmm.
So I'm circling.
Spain would like to argue that point.
Spain would like to argue that point. Yeah. Okay. Anecdote that probably never happened. Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on. Now, anecdote that never happened or weightless example?
I would probably go with weightless example because she's misconstrued. It's funny because she talked about this earlier. You can take the data and use it how you want to.
Right. And then,
Drill
of course,
down. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about feelings. Okay, so I circled weightless example for that one, guys. I don't have a thing on here for like absolute lie.
Well, and in fairness, this isn't an anecdote, really. This is
it's not.
Bullshit is what it is.
It's a nonsense. It's a nonsense fact. Okay, I'm going to skip back ahead a little bit.
Juan Perón was years, if not at least a century, in the making.
Okay, sorry, I skipped ahead too much. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to do this, but I just want to make sure I get my. I don't want to misquote our speaker. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it properly. Okay.
The election of Juan Perón and Peronism. But the election of Juan Perón was years, if not at least a century, in the making. Why?
I don't know why.
Because of a lack of individualism in the Argentinian society.
What?
So what happened in Argentina is that you would get there, you would be working for a landowner.
Thank you, Drew W. That's like Kuwait being the powerful economy on earth, the most powerful economy on earth, because per capita they're the richest. Right. That doesn't track. Argentina could not move mountains with their economic power in the 1800s. Britain could. Spain could. So
well, I'm reading about it now, and they had a boom, but yeah, by no means the economic powerhouse she's talking about. She's insane. Anyway, go ahead.
You were an employee of a landowner.
Yes.
Argentina was very rich, and the richer it got, the more this disconnect between the 10% and the 90% increased. Look at the United States.
Same thing here. Oh, God, go ahead.
When you were an immigrant, the government would give you a piece of land. And
well, at one time, yes.
Is she talking about westward expansion?
Yes, I guess. She's talking about Far and Away. You saw that Tom Cruise movie, didn't you?
Oh, I haven't, but fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah. No, that was the big thing at the end where they go claim their piece of land, the Irish immigrants and all that stuff. I'm like, really? We're going that far back? Okay, so Western expansion, if you're an immigrant to the United States. Was that in the 1800s?
A part of it, yeah.
Yeah, part of it was. Okay, all right. So we're still in the 1800s.
The majority of it, actually, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so people chose to go to Buenos Aires to work for a landowner rather than go to the United States where they gave you land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
The government would give you a piece of land and they will tell you work it.
Yeah.
So every immigrant was actually the CEO of a small enterprise. And this allowed for wealth, maybe not to move to the extreme of Argentina, but in the middle range to be distributed almost equally.
Oh God, no.
What? I am out of my depth here. I have no idea what she's talking about or what she's trying to say.
Well, somebody mentioned in chat, yeah, they're talking about, she's talking about the Homestead Act. She's talking about, there was a period of time where the United States gave people land if they moved west so that they could colonize these areas.
Yes.
Because you have to have your own people there if you want to call it yours. And it, maybe immigrants took advantage of this, but it was also, natural born citizens who took advantage of this. And they didn't go out there and become the middle fucking class. They went out there and worked themselves to death most of the time and ended up having to sell it to somebody else anyway. The fuck is she talking about?
Gunfox says, scribes 1795 to about 1830-ish, the Homestead Act. Okay. Okay. Renovatio says, Tom Cruise should have been barred from the Republic of Ireland after his attempt at an Irish accent. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying Far and Away was a good movie, but watching Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, I think that was the first movie they did. Was that the first movie before?
Days of Thunder, wasn't it?
Yeah, Days of Thunder was the first one, and then they probably did that after they got married or somewhere in there. Anyway, sorry, celebrity biographies aside.
So Argentinians, landowners, Russian serfdom, serfdom in other countries in the world have created this disconnect in wealth, which led to communism.
Yeah,
and we all agree that communism is not really a viable solution.
Communism is not a viable solution, but you're talking about the collective. You're extolling the virtues of Che Guevara. What?
She was just preaching communism.
Yeah, she was just preaching communism.
Her ideal government.
The goal of a society is to reach an equilibrium. Like what else could that be but communism? Okay, so are you trying to Trojan horse us here? That's what it sounds like she's doing.
It sounds like what she wants to do is set up a 3-tiered communist system. Of upper, middle, and lower class. That's not how communism works. You get upper and lower. That's it. Okay.
However, right now, capitalism also doesn't see a viable solution.
Tell that to Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, no shit.
We shouldn't be ashamed to look at capitalism and try to fine-tune it. Because capitalism today is skewed towards money begets money. It's a backward-looking formula.
Money begets money is economic. What the fuck is she talking? Like, I'm not an economist. Am I wrong in saying money begets money is just economics? Period. Whatever the system might be.
It is. It takes money to make money.
Yes. Investment, growth, reinvestment, profit, and onward. I mean, whether you're talking, okay, I'm an English major, and I'm like, WTF, mate, this lady.
Meaning, if you're a wealthy man but a crappy businessman, you go to a bank, you still get your loan. If you're a cash-rich corporate, you have access to capital markets. If you're a wealthy nation, you can emit bonds at a very low interest rate.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect. Without capitalism, you wouldn't be on the stage. Yeah, without capitalism, she wouldn't have those shoes or that dress or that, or you know, all this technological. Sorry, what?
If you want to make the argument that capitalism is bad because of that dress, I might be on your side.
Okay, all right. But tell me again, the steam engine, the internet, what was the other one that you mentioned? Electricity. Would these have come about if we'd not had a capitalist system of competition and everything?
There is a point to what she's saying. And a good way to look at this is just gambling. Because a lot of capital investment is gambling. If you sit down at a table and you have $2 to bet, chances are by the time you're done, you might have made $6 and you tripled your money. Yay. Yeah. But if you went in there with 200,000 and you come out with 600,000, you still tripled your money, but you got 400,000 versus that other person's 4.
Right.
So that's what capitalism is. The more you invest, the more chance you have at return. And there's people who are pissed off about that for reasons I don't understand.
Yeah. Like I don't have enough to bet, or I didn't bet enough, or I didn't bet wisely. I don't know what to tell you. Okay.
You know what happens in a communist nation? You just don't have the money to bet.
Right. Yeah, there's no money to bet. There's no betting to be had. Your future is secured. your
not
future
necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, your future is predestined. There's really nothing you have to worry about at that point. Yeah.
But capitalism shouldn't go to short-term gains only.
They don't.
Capital should flow to those who can provide the most sustainable long-term capital.
To each their own. Or no, what was the phrase? Each according to their
ability, to each according to their need.
Yeah, that's what suddenly occurred to my mind when she said that. I might be wrong. I might be up there.
That's what my mind went to when right before she brought up Che Guevara, when she's talking about using the individual.
Yeah. Thank you, Johnny Stoffel. What did commies use before candles? Electricity. Okay.
But in this new form of capitalism that we're trying to build,
what?
Capital is not only about money.
Oh.
Remember the third disruption? Capital should also be linked to knowledge.
To knowledge.
How? And by the way, like Monkey said, the internet wasn't just about access to knowledge. It was a sudden, just a revolution in commerce and exchange. So how are you going to monetize knowledge?
There's definite ways to do it. I mean, going back to betting, knowing when to bet is a
sure. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So I mean, there's a lot of this where she's not necessarily wrong, but the way she's presenting it is dirty.
A wise man once said, give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day.
Yeah.
Teach a man how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. But what he forgot to mention is that not only do you need to teach the man how to fish, but you need to give him the money to buy a boat. Because a man who knows how to fish and doesn't have a boat is going to starve.
No, you can fish right off the shore, sweetheart.
Yeah. I have never fished from a boat. I have always put on waders with my dad and walked out on the edge of the river and fished.
Dude, I've never even done that. I've stood on the shore.
Yeah. Okay. Your analogy sucks.
And a man who has a boat and doesn't know how to fish is useless as well.
No, he can have a tourism business.
Yeah. He can shuttle people back and forth across the shore. What are you talking about? You ever hear of innovation, like making do with what you have?
Oh, God.
What?
Okay. No, she doesn't understand innovation at all. She has no concept.
It's like, well, I have a boat, but I don't know how to fish. Well, I'll start a ferry business, or I'll start a scenic tour business, or something. What the? She
should use that awesome internet knowledge thing that she talks about and look up how to fish from fucking shore.
No. Or if you have a boat and you don't know what to do with it, what can I do with a boat? I don't know. And
this is extremely important for SMEs, small and medium enterprises. Small and medium enterprises are the heart, are the power engine of an economy.
Do you run a small to medium enterprise by any chance? Just kidding. With your turtleneck? Oh, sorry.
All of the economical successes, like the Asian nations, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, all of them have a very strong, dynamic SME sector. In the United States, SME generate more than 50% of the GDP.
Not anymore, they don't. Oh, I missed 2019.
99% of businesses in China are SMEs.
Yeah. And tell me of the freedoms economically that they experience in China. Tell me about how there are no billionaires in China. I had that said to me one time. You know, there are no billionaires in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those. It was someone promoting socialism and saying, you know, the China model is so much better because they don't have the kind of wealth disparity we do. They don't have any billionaires in China. I was like, what? And then I looked up like 17 different examples of Chinese billionaires. Like, okay, whatever.
John Miller in chat asked, what's SME? It's just small business.
Yeah.
It's small to medium enterprise is what it stands for.
Small to medium enterprise. Yeah, small business. Thank you, Drew W. Commies have no clue about capitalism. I'm not quite sure what this lady is. Okay.
But the problem with SMEs is that their failure rate is humongous.
Because they're gambles.
Yep. They
are gambles. You know, somebody opens up a new restaurant, let's say. Okay. Restaurants are one of the most tumultuous markets to get yourself into. If you hit it off, you can do really well. But a lot of restaurants don't survive their first 2 years. It's a gamble, just like with any business. If you don't have some kind of corporate backing or whatever else, you don't have a lot of, I don't know, venture capital to burn or something. Yeah, it's a volatile place to be when you're a small to medium business. So you're right. That is not an untrue statement, but it's also not some kind of revelation.
In a 5-year period, 50% of SMEs fail. On a 10-year period, 90% fail. And it's not because of a lack in capital.
Yeah, it's called competition and market value.
It's absolutely because of a lack of capital. They don't make money.
Well, it's capital too. Yeah, well, that's true too. But there are other factors at work that cause them to not have the capital necessary to survive, like competition, so on. Capital
just means money.
Yeah.
It is mainly of a lack of expertise and knowledge and experience.
Well, then they should. Okay, you're right. It could be. It could be. They don't know what they're doing.
That's part of it. Part of it. Well, I was just talking with Jack about this the other day. I live in a very small town, and we've been here about 20 years. And in this time, at least 4 different people have tried to open up bookstores here. This town can't support a bookstore.
Right.
It's the absolute wrong. So these people, I want to open a bookstore. Okay, I want to open it here. Oh, no, that's a very, very bad idea.
Yeah.
So, yes, she's not necessarily wrong about that. But, okay, what? Reading the internet's going to tell you how to fix that?
Thank you, Drew W. Amazon and Microsoft, both SMEs.
True story.
Yep. Technically speaking.
They both started that way.
Yes. And look at all of the people that tried to compete with them.
Walmart was an SME.
Yep. And all their competition mostly has been either eaten up by them or defeated by them because of competition.
When it comes
go ahead. I was going to say or because the competition came into the market not knowing as much or having the expertise of other people. It's merit based, if you can believe it, to a certain extent.
Unless you're talking about capital firms and that kind of stuff, almost every corporation started as a small business.
Yeah. Like Starbucks was like one little corner store or something in Seattle or something, right?
And Nike, your computer company, whatever computer you're using, your cell phones, all of that stuff started from small companies.
Some guy in his garage somewhere, but anyway.
Large corporations have access to the best employees.
Not necessarily. Let's be honest. CNN, are you listening? CNN? Yeah, not necessarily.
Have access to the largest bank, to the largest consultancy firms, i.e., they have access to an ecosystem that is here to nurture them.
Yeah, but the largest does not necessarily mean the best. Remember what happened to AIG?
Yeah.
Remember what happened to Arthur Anderson, Enron?
Okay. Jaguar in chat, he just said, this woman proves that you can be knowledgeable and dumb as a brick. Yes.
She's almost on the level of Chromosome Lady. And Chromosome Lady is legendary in the TEDXcellence series for talking like she knows something without saying anything intelligible at all. I circled the entire bingo card that time because she was just so out there. This lady isn't quite there because she does have some knowledge, just enough to be dangerous, it sounds like. But she's, like you've said, she's been applying it in some completely kooky ways. And I'm still not sure where we're going with this. But okay. Thank you, Andrew Joyner. Hi, guys. So what is this fuckery? This is a ramshackle argument towards socialism. I think. Maybe. I don't know.
SMEs don't really have access to this because maybe there's too small to be for the economy to invest in them. So in order to bring back the wealth to the middle range, we should be focusing on our SMEs.
What? Don't small businesses, and I've never run small businesses. Don't small businesses get not a free ride or anything, but there are a lot of incentives to open up a small business. There's a lot of support out there, a lot of programs that help small businesses, at least in America.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we have an entire small business administration.
Right.
They give
And,
out small
I'm not-
business loans and things like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not going to say that every piece of rhetoric I've ever heard a politician say about small businesses is actually turned into action. But at the same time, and I don't know who she's speaking for at this point. If she's not speaking about America, if she's talking about globally or something, I couldn't tell about that. But at least in America, as far as I know, there's a lot of resources if you're trying to open up a small business, because we as a society have a vested interest in the success of businesses because we're a capitalist nation and so on. So,
but what she's missing here, and with that, so we invest in small businesses. Great. Go back to my bookstore example. It does not, unless you're planning on doing nothing but subsidizing a bookstore in my town, there is no reason to have a bookstore in my town. It's just not big enough to have one.
Location. Yeah, location. You could have the best business model ever. If you open it up in the worst possible location on the planet, nobody comes to your store, doesn't matter. Okay, so we need to focus on, okay, well, lady, here in America, we do. Probably a lot more than other places. So maybe that explains us. What's your point then?
But how can we do this in the current model?
We are doing it in the current model. So
Buy local.
We do. Now, but again, I don't know what country or part of the world you're talking about. Unless you mean, if you're talking about the royal we. Go ahead.
I think she made clear at the beginning of this that she's talking about the United States, because she did say something early on about, at least here in the United States, talking about how people had recovered from the recession of 2008.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm still guessing she's talking about in the US. So we'll see.
So the current model is a very centralized model. The bigger you are, the more decision-making power you have.
Well, you have the ability to take more risks, conceivably, sure. But then I'm filling in the blanks here. What do you mean decision-making power?
What we should be doing is shifting the decision-making power from the individual to the collective.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm going to back up to just for those in the cheap seats. I'm going to back up just a few seconds here.
Decision-making power from the individual to the collective. And when I say the individual, I don't mean necessarily a person, but a corporate, an entity.
A corporate, an entity. Okay, so now I'm starting to have flashbacks to like sovereign citizen stuff. Okay, so you're talking about the all caps letter entity, corporation, giving up control to a collective of all caps letter corporations?
Let the states decide. The state decide how businesses are run and where they're run. And all right,
it shouldn't be one or two or three players in the economy that takes decision. It should be all of the actors.
Yeah, it's called buying shit. It's called voting with your dollar, you bimbo.
Thank you, Piccolo, driving 8-man. Damn it, I'm late. Hi, fellas. Hi, Piccolo. We're just hearing the wonderful virtues of collective living, world socialism, something. I don't know. Okay.
So how do you do that?
I don't know.
Let me give you an illustration.
Please do. And she brings up the image of the character from League of Legends again. Okay. Wait. Is League of Legends going to be her model for an equilibrium society?
Maybe she's going to stop in the middle and do an ad for him. I don't know.
And like she says, now, let me tell you about Raid Shadow Legends.
Meet Ornn. So Ornn is a character of a video game.
Did you not mean to bring that slide up earlier in your presentation? Was that a mistake?
I don't think she knew.
I don't think she knew.
Called League of Legends, or LOL, for those who know it. It's my favorite character.
Why?
I'm not introducing him to you to discuss whether he's half goat, half dog or half goat, half lion, though I'm quite sure it's an interesting debate. No.
I'm sure there have been plenty of nerds that have had that debate. Just like, could the Hulk defeat Superman? You think the Hulk could defeat Superman?
No, Superman's a god.
Yeah, okay.
I'm introducing On because of this.
What?
In this game, On and other characters have different statistics.
Yes.
These statistics are variables with different values. These values move up and down throughout your progress in the game.
Uh-huh.
Now imagine an economical model
Pause.
where all of the actors, again, not
pause?
the players.
Is she really about to use character sheets to explain why communism is good? Please tell me that's not what she's about to do.
No. She's talking about individual merit and evolution over time, monkey. You see, that's
oh God.
The actors, where all the actors have that sort of profile with various variables that could be quantitative or qualitative, that comes into an equation to give you a reputation score.
Oh God.
Like China? Like people have in China? A reputation score. So a sort of economic Yelp. Is that what we're going for here? Or an economic Rotten Tomatoes? Is that it? I think Monkey's losing his mind more than I am, probably because he knows more than I do about how stupid this is.
This is absolutely asinine.
All right.
The higher your reputation is, the more input and influence you have on the economy, on the ecosystem.
Oh, okay. So instead of having a disparity of wealth, you'd have a disparity of reputation. And reputation is earned through this, and this. So you still have a disparity of power in decision-making. Just a different process by which to get there, is what you're saying. Okay. Thank you, Lancelot. 652. Oh, God, do not tell me she's going to talk about him making stuff for the team and comparing it to real life. She apparently is, I guess. Thank you, John Miller. Let's make an econ based on League. That could never fail. The country fails with everyone blaming Timo. It's like, oh, my God.
Just be a nation of everybody running around yelling noob. Get good, scrub.
Okay.
So now imagine an SME.
I imagine quite a bit. Han Solo. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. She should have picked Silas. He's an actual commie in the game. Oh, she probably explicitly avoided him then. Wouldn't want to give away the joke. Okay.
That is looking for funding, or is looking for advice, or is looking for any type of information coming into the ecosystem. You will have all of the actors that want to interact with this SME giving their opinion or voting on whether to finance this company or not finance it, and at what level.
Those are called venture capitalist companies.
That's what they already do, you silly bitch.
Yeah,
if you're trying to start a small business, it's not like you can't go into a bank and ask them for money. You can go into any fucking bank you want. It's not like they go, oh, sorry, you're not Donald Trump. You're not even allowed to step in this building.
Right.
They're just not going to give you, they're going to laugh at you. You're trying to start a little coffee shop in the middle of Podunk, Idaho, and you're trying to get billions of dollars. They're going to be like, no, because their interest is investing in something to get a payout for having invested. Whether it's a bank or a venture capitalist or angel, whatever you want to call them, they're looking to invest their money to get a payoff at some point, and you have to present at least to them. I mean, you could find a complete rube who'll just give you money for no reason, but generally speaking, these institutions have specific little check marks they have to get off in order to feel comfortable in giving you money. So you have to come with a business model, you have to come with projections, you have to come with a pitch. From what she's saying, it's literally what they do. They come in with their character sheet. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And like, this is what I have. And the bank can go, nah, I'm not interested. Or, yeah, I'll give you some money for that.
So where's the innovation here? What is the new idea? There is no new idea here. Like we don't already support our small businesses. We do. We don't have some kind of a score or checklist that an investor is going to have before they feel comfortable giving you your money. We already do that. I mean, hell, we've been doing that since the beginning of time. It's just different process. What? Thank you, Zan Wild. Show me on this doll where capital hurt you. Well, it depends on how low my reputation score is, I guess. Okay, and then lady who's telling us old ideas is new ideas.
But their vote is going to be weighted by their reputation score.
What?
So the better actors they are in the economy,
the
higher input, the higher influence they will have.
Define better. I mean, in this model, is Amazon. Sorry, go ahead.
Which group is she talking about?
I don't know.
The bankers or the people asking for money?
Well, it seemed like she was saying, okay, the character sheets represent individual companies, corporate entities.
Somebody looking to make money, to start a business.
Okay, so these two character sheets, let's say we'll call them Amazon and Microsoft, right and left here, okay? Amazon and Microsoft have their reputation, and they're looking at the small business looking for investment. And then based on their reputation scores... No,
because what she said is these are the people coming in, and then all these people who want to help them can look at them and invest if they want to. And that's where she switches to, but it'll be, can you actually back that part up so I can hear it all at once?
I'm going to
get your super chat first.
Yeah, I'll get that here in a second. I'll back up a few seconds so we get the whole picture again. Thank you, Juggernaut. Should add an idea already in use square. I mean, that did happen a couple of times now in the last couple of like the authentic leadership one.
Well,
the lady was belting out just common sense over and over again.
What you should do is you should actually make up like 6 different cards. Like
everybody's told me this is I need to make a card for restorative justice speeches and a card for like economic speeches and that kind of thing.
No, do it absolutely random. Have like cards A through F, and at the beginning of a stream, like, all right, guys, we're going to use card D today. And just whatever that card happens to be, just like a real bingo, you never know what card you're going to get. And just have a couple of different squares on there and have the squares in different positions. And that's all I'm saying.
That is a more sound idea than the topic specific thing that people have argued for in the past.
Yeah.
I will consider this. And God knows I've got a few iterations of the card already done up in previous. I could just download them again. Yeah, okay. I'll think about that. Thank you, Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Finance it.
All right. That's all right. We're going to make sure we get the whole. Okay. This should be good enough.
Giving their opinion or voting on whether to finance this company or not finance it and at what level. But their vote is going to be weighted by their reputation score.
Okay, so the vote of Amazon or Microsoft, whether or not to invest in this company, is going to be weighted by their reputation score.
Yes, that's fucking stupid. So
that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. No. What the fuck is she talking about?
Weighted, like, so if Amazon says no, don't invest in this company, but Microsoft has a higher reputation score, then Microsoft's vote to invest in this company precedes Amazon's vote?
Yeah, of Amazon's usage of their money.
But no, it's the collective money. It's the collective money, Monkey, because there's some collective bank that all of the big companies are drawing from and giving to. And they get to vote as to whether or not more money from the collective gets put into this little small business. That's the only thing I can think of. Is that now all the corporations are somehow linked by a singular pile of money? No,
because she said they can decide whether or not to invest. That gives the impression that it's their money.
Yeah.
But their idea whether or not to invest is based on their score. And I'm curious to see where she goes. I do want to address in chat, several people have said, so a social credit system. No. An economic social credit system.
Yeah. It's not about an individual. It's about a corporation having some kind of decision-making power as to where the money goes to invest into small businesses from the collective of all the corporations.
All right.
It's a corporate state is what they're talking about.
This is weird.
I mean, this is like cyberpunk dystopian future where each corporation is effectively its own nation state inside the collective continent of corporations.
But they're in a UN and they can be told what to do. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay, somebody in the chat who's much better at this than I am, start writing this stuff down. You might have a plot for a novel. Just saying.
So the better actors they are in the economy, the higher input, the higher influence they will have.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect. It's the IBC from Star Wars, I guess. The Imperial Bureaucracy Center, or whatever it was. Yeah, something like that.
And this is what is called participative capitalism.
Is that a phrase you're familiar with?
Communism.
So now we can take this idea a little bit further.
Oh, please.
And apply this concept to government structures, particularly parliamentary systems.
Why?
So I want to introduce what I call Calibrocracy.
What you call, that's a buzzword, buzz phrase.
She just made up her own word.
Just made up her own word. Calibrocracy. Okay. Attempt to coin your buzzword, buzz phrase. Circling that one. Calibrocracy.
Here comes your social credit score, guys.
Calibrocracy derives from the word caliber, which is the standard of a person, the quality of the ability of a person. And it's a form of government where it's not parliament that votes on laws, but it is the citizens. Very similar to a referendum, right? But no. Because in a referendum, every vote is equal to 1. In a calibocracy, every vote is weighted by your caliber.
There it is. Wow. Holy shit. She took this someplace I never expected.
Real quick, Dark Resurrect corrected me. Scribelight, Intergalactic Banking Clan. That's right, IBC. I forgot. My Star Wars knowledge has been so rattled over the last several years with the reset of the EU and everything else. Just anyway, but yes, okay, caliber. Your caliber in the society. So you're going to have a new aristocracy.
She's basically giving us the 3/4 rule in a new way.
Yeah,
or
it's
3/5 rule. Sorry.
Yeah, except that now your score will be weighted on your economic viability or something.
Kind of. See.
Okay. Yeah.
If somebody just, for example, somebody decides you're better than me.
Yeah.
By you're a 2 and I'm a 1.
Yes.
We both go to vote. And we vote opposite, you win.
Yes.
You automatically win because you're better than I am.
Yes.
Determined by her reasoning. That's absolutely insane.
I want to know the equation and where I rate in her system. I really want to know. I hope she's only got about 3 minutes left. I really hope that she gives us the basics of how her system operates, because I am dying to know. And Dark Resurrect, thank you. IBC, Intergalactic Banking Clan. Appreciate it. The Muns. The Muns, who were, I should say that Darth Plagueis in the old canon was a Mun, and his backstory is great. In the novel, Darth Plagueis, which is now a Legends book in Star Wars, but is probably one of the best Star Wars expanded universe novels because it actually ties together all of the movies from the prequels onward up through like the first movie in a way that is still kind of amazing to me if you read it. But anyway, moving on.
And your caliber, which is made up of multiple variables,
such as
strength, intelligence, agility.
Yeah. Let's see. It's going to be, let's see, strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. It's what makes you special. Right, lady?
Take in qualitative variable like your age, your location, quantitative variable, what type of returns you have.
Part of it's going to be based on your age
and your zip code, monkey.
Oh dear God!
How much value? I mean, seriously, how much value does a 65-year-old actually possess?
I am curious if this is a sliding scale upward. So like at 20, you don't amount to much as you do at 40, or if it's more like a roller coaster where it goes up, 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 and like say at 45, it starts to go back down.
This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Sorry, Monk, but I'm going to have to invest in Scribe over you. He has a higher social credit score. I mean, a higher caliber than you.
That's fair.
I don't think that's fair. I think Monkey has shown that he's far more productive and beneficial to society in that he has effectively helped to bear a larger population of productive individuals for the society than I have.
That's a fair way to look at it, but I'm also older than you, so I'm on that downhill climb now.
Well, no, there's no downhill climb for you. There's just down the stairs.
Just rolling.
Just rolling. All right, I backed up a little bit, but here we go.
For variables can take in qualitative variable like your age, your location, quantitative variable, what type of returns you have in your job, etc., etc. And most importantly, when it's time to vote, it will take into account whether this law is affecting you, yes or no.
Okay, so wait. So Logan Paul, based on how much he brings in, is more valuable an individual than myself or Monkey or 99% of the rest of the population. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Not based on like what he actually produces or any benefit he actually provides to society. No, just based on his bank account. Okay. And then if I get to vote, I don't get to vote on laws that don't apply to me?
You can still vote. It's just you get a much lower vote. So like that specifically goes to abortion. You're not allowed to make a vote on it if you have a penis, even though in order for an abortion to happen, you had to have been a part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is just fucking garbage.
This is insane.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah, this is absolutely nuts. Even if you set aside just the moral implications of it all, the idea that you're going to be able to reduce down to a set of numbers and statistics every single person based on all of these variables at any given time for any given reason under any given circumstances. And
Scribe, they do it in video games.
Oh yeah. But she talked about what she said before. The goal of a society is to reach an equilibrium.
Yeah.
How is that an equilibrium?
Oh, I can explain it. It's using her video game model there. See, Oder or whatever that guy's name was. He might be very good in certain situations, but you take him out for others.
Yeah.
So he's got his strong points.
Yes.
And there's times you use him, and it's times that it's right to use him. So that would be the same thing. Like, take the abortion example. It would make more sense to have a woman in there deciding that than me. Yeah. But there might be something that I'm more qualified to vote on than she is.
Right. Sometimes
I'm sure that's not a thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you need a carry. Sometimes you need a support. Sometimes you need a tank. Sometimes you need a healer, but not all the time.
Yeah. Just carry your 20-sided around all the time. You'll be fine.
An easy example would be Brexit.
Oh, easy example would be Brexit. Okay, do tell.
If we voted on Brexit within a calibrocratic system.
Yeah.
And this is just one variable. Yeah, don't get upset at me. If you were 80 years old, the weight of your vote would have been lower than someone who's 30 years old.
Because you got to live under it longer, right? Tell me, bitch. Say it.
Well, because it's very unfortunate, but the lifespan of human being is limited.
Wow.
Nobody at 30 can possibly die before an 80-year-old, just so you guys know.
Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah, even Dog Cat Fox is like, what the fuck? So the voting power of an 80-year-old is less than a 20-year-old because an 80-year-old's going to die anyway.
Yep, that's what she just said.
So let's just take all the old people and put them out on the ice floes. They're not needed anymore.
But it's on the other side of the spectrum, it works as well. If we're talking about a law on healthcare, if you're 80 years old, your vote will have a weight that is more important than someone who's 30 years old. Because
someone 30 years old can't get cancer or a spinal injury or anything like that. Yeah.
Wouldn't a 30-year-old need medical care longer than an 80-year-old?
No, it just later, not now, later. We can kick that can down the road.
Just like Brexit, they're going to be living under whatever medical system you're talking about for much longer than that 80-year-old will be.
Yeah, and it's not like those 30-year-olds have, parents who are aging who they have a concern for and the benefit of it. No. It's all we're all individualistic. We are not connected to one another as a society because as a society we're looking for equilibrium, except where everybody weighted differently based on factors you have no control over and say nothing about your personal circumstances or beliefs. Calibrocracy, monkey.
This is somebody said it in chat a moment ago. This woman's evil. This is worse than communism. This shit she's talking about. What the fuck?
Thank you, Lancelot 652. Is she related to Cuomo by any chance? Ooh. And thank you, Dark Resurrect. So death panels then?
Well, no. You still all she's talking about is being able to vote. Yeah.
Devaluing people's voice in the society in which they live on the basis of age and or infirmity and or God knows what else that she's got. Oh, sorry, location. I mean,
this is some really fucked up shit.
Because you use the healthcare system more often. And again, it is true. Humans are not equal. It's even written in our genetic code. Yeah? Some are born tall, some are born short like me. Some are born
smart,
very good born, so good looking. Some are born good at math, some are born very eloquent.
Some are born good at math.
Some are born very eloquent. I don't think that's true.
That's not how that works, lady. Most people have a high potential for things, but they're not always inherently talented. But the thing is, if they're not exposed to these things, if they're not educated, they don't gain those abilities. You're not born with eloquence.
Were there very eloquent cavemen?
I mean, for cavemen, they probably were. I mean, one guy's ook ook might be another buddy's eek eek. So,
Fair enough.
Thank you, Andrew Joyner. But you don't understand. As long as she decides who has high caliber, everything will be okay. Yeah. Who builds these rating systems? Who manages the quantitative and qualitative aspects of someone's worth in society? What organization will be responsible for determining these things? Oh, black and white mistress of turtleneck.
And okay, I'm just going to say this because we still got 2 minutes left? A minute and a half.
Yeah.
She still hasn't explained how any of this gets rid of any of the income disparity that she says we have to fix.
Nope. And in fact, she just told us that corporations will be even more powerful than they are right now. They get to decide who gets the money. Never mind the banks. And I know corporations, but still.
But remember, if Amazon doesn't want to invest in somebody, but they got a low score, Microsoft can tell them they have to because they have a higher score.
Right. Okay, we're almost done, guys, I think.
And some are born neither good looking, neither very eloquent, neither very smart. It's very complicated for them.
What?
She's not funny.
But we should accept, respect, and leverage on our differences.
No, you just said to disrespect someone on the basis of their age, whether they're young or old, on their differences. Yeah, you said to devalue someone on the basis of their difference. An 80-year-old versus a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old versus an 80-year-old. If I could circle contradict own point or argument more than once, I would, but okay.
Because it is through our differences that we can extract unique insights that can build up a collective,
Unless they're
a
80.
collective society.
Yeah.
In 1992, after the fall of the Soviet Union, Francis Fukuyama, in his very famous book, The End of History and the Last Man, argued that with the global spread of free market capitalism and liberal democracy,
everybody sucks. I don't know what she's about to say, but thank you, Juggernaut. Shut up, elders. Your years of wisdom and experience can't compare to my few years of college. Now shut up before we lower your family scores. Yeah, an equal society where we welcome all the differences and all the wisdoms and experiences unless you don't rate correctly on our scale.
human society arrived at the end of its social-cultural evolution.
Really? Free market capitalism stopped our social cultural evolution in 1990.
We arrived at the end of our ability to go anywhere else.
Oh, okay. So
that's the best we could do.
Okay, so 1992. So time stopped for our cultural evolution in 1992. So don't ask, don't tell is still a thing.
I just want to point out that she did go to she fell back on the Soviet Union, and
yes,
there's a reason for that. Anyway, yeah. What how does this idiot end?
There's been no change to our culture since 1992. Okay.
And that the last form of government is a liberal democracy with free market capitalism.
Yes.
But history doesn't end. And it's time for you, for me, for us to make history again. Thank you.
Okay.
What? No.
What she is saying there, and I actually agree with the point that she's talking about, not what she was talking about, but who she was quoting. A democracy, at least as free as it can be. I prefer our electoral college system, but a democracy and free market capitalism is the best humanity can do. I've never heard of another system that is as fair as that, because it is mostly based on merit. It is mostly based on being willing to go try, putting yourself out there, taking a risk. And throughout human history, nothing has given us more innovation than a system like that. So the point itself, sure. But she takes it and goes, well, I think that's nonsense. We need to go to making it so grandpa doesn't get to vote on Brexit.
Yeah, it's that Churchill quote, like, democracy is the worst system of government compared to all the others. Something like that.
Except for all the others.
Except for all the others, yeah. Okay, now we're going to go to the card real quick. Let's review, and then if we have any squares not circled, we will go to arguments from the chat. Marginalize, marginalization.
She doesn't say it, but she basically argues it.
Yeah, she talks about, like, the 90% versus the 10%.
Yeah, the people they're marginalized, they can't go out and get the loans and stuff like the others can.
Okay, so yeah, at this point in the show, guys, we're looking at possible aggregate arguments for squares, even if she didn't specifically say it. Takes credit for something done, experienced by others in their demographic. She never talked about, like, being a woman or being from a particular part of the country or world or something. So I'm hesitant to circle that one.
No, I wouldn't. She takes credit. I mean, I've never heard this idea, so I'm willing to believe it's hers, because she takes a whole lot of stuff and shoves it into one shit pile. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the main example I always think of when it comes to that square is there was a video I did a while back where a lady said, she was a black lady, and she said, rap music is ours. We invented it. White people just borrow it. That kind of thing. Like, but she's not a rapper or a musician. She just says, we because of collective we.
Sure.
So, feminism, no, she never brought up sexual politics, honestly. Microaggression and conscious bias. It'd be a hard argument for that one. Anecdote that probably never happened. She never gave us an anecdote. She gave us historical claims and or facts or events, but she never gave us, like, I don't think so. Toxic. Toxic is the big one, because that would get us a bingo. But I'm
No.
I'm hard pressed to say that even in some kind of aggregate sense. So if you guys in the chat have an argument for toxic, it's going to have to be a really good one.
The closest you could get for that is to say that the system itself is toxic, but she never says it.
Yeah, that's a stretch. And toxic is one of the ones that I'm looking at switching out with a new square in the near future or something else because it's so very specific. It's not even sort of a concept. It's like it's actually a word, you know, that's a little rough. Plays victim. No, not really.
She never really put the argument to herself. She did it as a collective. So
she never made herself part of the argument, which is always something that I look for when these things. It's like, because that opens up the door to a whole bunch of questions. So, like in this instance, not even bringing up her personal career or vocation would really matter to this because she never made herself part of her own example. Mind reading assumes motives.
No, she never really did that either. I mean, she comes close with saying that the banks being willing to give money to some people and not others, but she never ascribes a reason for that other than they're already rich.
Benevolent condescension. I mean, I felt condescended to throughout the entire thing. Benevolent condescension is something to the effect. It's like the soft bigotry of low expectations, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it, and it was the whole point was her trying to be benevolent, so any condescension in here would count. Not really, because she never really talks down to the audience. The only time she like explains something is when it was right to explain it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have a hard time with that one.
Okay, Chad, if you got an argument, if you have arguments, hold them until we're done going through the card, guys, just so I don't miss them in the chat.
If it says benevolent stupidity, that would be a circle.
Yeah. Patriarchy. No, again, she never brought up sexual politics. Wage gap.
Again, wealth gap, but not really wage gap.
Yeah, wage gap, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like the female wage gap or the gender wage gap or something. It could just be a wage gap. It could be like a racial demographic wage gap argument or something like that. That didn't really come up. She's talking about broad scale economy, so a little rough there. Privilege.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole idea of Calibrocracy is about privilege.
The whole thing of her talking about people being able to get loans versus other people not being able to, that's all privilege.
Childhood or family anecdote. She never talked about herself. Nope. Self-vilification or wretchedness. No, she never said, nope. I am one of those terrible people contributing to this system of oppression, etc. So make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason.
Nope.
She brought up age, she brought up location, so on and so forth, but she had a reason in bringing it up, but
it was stupid, but she had a reason.
Yeah. And finally, white supremacy.
Again, the white supremacy, I could kind of see that one because of the whole far, or what does she call it?
Trumpism
extremism.
And all that.
Extremism.
Yeah, extreme politics. Yeah.
But she never said white supremacy.
She said Trumpism. That's about as close as you could possibly get in reference, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So let me update the card for your review. That's where we're at. I will take arguments for other squares to be circled for the next couple of minutes, and then we'll wrap this up, guys, because it's been a long one.
Make a good argument for that white supremacy, guys. That's your best bet.
White supremacy or toxic. I could see other things happening. Like, nothing for you here. The whole system she's describing assumes motive. If she can read everyone's mind, scribe light, as if the system itself can discern what everyone is worth to themselves and society.
But she didn't do it based on assuming what they can think or anything. It was based on, she did say quantitative things. I mean, age was one of them. Ability was one of them. So it's a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, her process is stupid, but it doesn't assume anything.
Yeah.
I guess. Let's see, Humble Clay. I got to go study. Have a good day, everyone. Bye, Humble.
See ya.
Let's see. Mark Panicki. Has factually inaccurate ever been a square? A lot of these people are incredibly ignorant about the topics they're speaking on, and I've seen them be corrected multiple times on basic stuff. I'm really looking at toxic and taking that square out and putting in something like totally inaccurate comment or factually inaccurate or something. Yeah. So I'm looking at it. I'm looking. There's been a couple of arguments for different squares over the time, but that one's becoming more of one that I'm looking at. Zach Osborne, Scribelight, benevolent condescension. That little joke she made about, quote, everyone not looking like a Hollywood movie star, ha 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 ha, came off as very condescending to me. I understand it is condescending, but benevolent condescension is something like, we can't expect much of demographic blah because blah, blah, blah. Therefore, we have to help them, kind of thing. That kind of benevolent condescension. You know, this demographic of people need help because obviously they can't take care of themselves, kind of thing.
I get Zach's point there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it quite applies.
Let's see.
There was a lot of it that was condescending, but
yeah, there's a lot of condescension. It's that one's usually tied to describing some, like I say, some demographic, gender, racial, something else, where they assume the inherent weakness or ineptitude of someone and are there to help them. Some kind of savior complex kind of thing, something like that. Jago Dragon, her entire argument hinges on the premise that credit scores assume motives. I mean, she did say good actors in the economy. And doesn't the person creating that system have to assume a value to something? Or am I stretching now?
Well, sure, I guess if you're talking about the system, but she never does that.
Okay. Mark Panicki, do you count age in with race sets, etc.? Yeah, I do. The problem is that she brought it up, but she didn't bring it up for no reason. It had a reason in her argumentation. It was a bad argument, don't get me wrong, but she didn't just pull it out of nowhere for no reason. It was part of her model. So that's why I can't circle that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bye, chat, Scribelight, Ranting Monkey. Have a great day, all. Bye, Dina.
See ya.
Let's see. Devil Fruit Zero. Does toxic mean she is toxic or she says something is toxic? Toxic is like the one square on the board where it's literally you have to hear the word being said or something, a synonym or something that describes a situation. Because toxic masculinity and this thing is toxic. That's how I'm looking at that one to be the next one to replace because it's so specific and it doesn't really have a lot of room for any latitude afterwards. So unfortunately, nothing in here, she never brought up the word or said something like this process is poisonous or something like that. So, Snow Pilot, Scribelight, free market capitalism and liberal democracy, which are bad, are products of the European Enlightenment, meaning whiteness. That is a bit of a stretch, but Monkey?
Yeah, I couldn't give you that one.
That is a bit of a stretch. Jago Dragon, benevolent condescension because she wanted to rank your vote based on your location. That's not...
Well, no, because, I mean, that she... Look, her argument is dumb as hell.
Yes.
But if you're talking about... whether or not we should subsidize corn farms, people in rural areas who you would expect somebody like her to be, oh, they're fucking stupid. In her system, they would get a higher score than somebody in California living in LA. Right. It didn't necessarily assume people on the coast were better. It literally, based on her system, at least the way she explained it, would have more to do with whether or not it directly affected you.
Let's see. JDP. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Tall person. She brought up League of Legends, which has a toxic fandom.
It's true.
Yeah. No. It's the highest hill to climb is the last square before a bingo, if nothing specific was brought up in the presentation. And so I don't think we're going to get to toxic, guys. Your best bet is white supremacy, and even then, that's going to be a tough one. I think we might just once again miss it by a hair because I don't really see. I mean, I'll give you guys another minute here. If anybody can come up with a really good argument for white supremacy or some fantastical argument for toxic or any other square. I mean, we don't have to get to a bingo. We can try to fill up the card as much as possible. But let's see.
Yeah, the one that pisses me off is benevolent condescension, because if it was benevolent stupidity, she was there the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
The whole time.
Yeah, it's just like, there's only so many things I can put on there that, yeah. John Miller, can clear dumb assery be called toxic? If so, she's a waste dump. Let's see. Mark Panicki, she mentioned the internet. That was an anecdote that probably never happened. Yes. Jago Dragon, can we get more free squares on this because of the amount of times we should have recircled word salad? No, it's not quite how that works. It's not a perfect system, guys, because there is no such thing. Zan Wild, xenophobic Brexit is as close to white supremacy I can come up with.
Yeah, but again, her example was old people, not white people.
Yeah.
Or
if she brought up a specific race or something in there somewhere, even then, if she said that they were weighted on race, then I just do white supremacy on the basis of that. But either way, no, it didn't happen. All right, guys, we're coming up on an hour and 45, and that's time more than enough for this, especially given what we just had to listen to. I mean, holy cow.
You know, I thought that was going to go towards the Bitcoin thing, and she just went left. She went to a version of communism that is
Then I hit the wrong button, is what I did. Okay. So as I was about to say before I hit the wrong window button and kicked myself out of my own show, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Really, I don't know that we could have gotten through it as much as we did without you guys helping us along. Thank you so much for your attendance, your participation, your argumentation. Everybody who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I really, really do appreciate it. It all go towards goldfish and Jack Daniels that I'll put into my body to help insulate myself from the next TEDXcellence. Monkey, you got anything else going on today that people should know about?
Just the show tonight at 9 on my channel.
That's right, guys. If you'd like to hear more from me, Ranting Monkey, or Satsu 2 Cents, you can find all three of us tonight on Ranting Monkey's channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Lords of the Night, where we'll talk about the news of the day, news stories you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. My brain is gone. I'm going to go have another drink, I think. Monkey, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, a pleasure.
Your intelligence, your insight, and your slightly weighted vote tally is very much appreciated. Everyone, thank you again for joining us. I hope you are all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Be safe, guys.